I'd like to call the Tuesday, October 3rd, 2017 Papillion City Council meeting to order. Mrs. Brown, would you please take the roll?
Florence. Here. Mumgard. Here. Gaines. Here. Glover. Here. Jaworski. Here. Klug. Here. Stube. Here. Ingberg.
Here. Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you. And do we have an affidavit of publication on file?
That's correct.
And a current copy of the Open Meetings Act is posted in the back of the council chambers. We don't have any presentations tonight. Ms. Myers, Administrator's report, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As you well know, work continues on the pedestrian bridge. The bridge itself will be closed on Monday, October 16th. The police department has received a number of complaints relative to drivers coming close to workers on the bridge. So as a result, Chief Lyons is going to declare that area construction zone from 84th Street from Grant Street to Sherman Street. So again, that would be fines would be increased for traffic offenses within that area. Quick update on the community center. We haven't talked about that for a while. City staff attended a pre-bid meeting with Sampson Construction last week. Sampson provided an overview to potential bidders and discussed the invitation to bid process. All those bids must be back into Sampson by Tuesday, October 10th. So we would expect to get final pricing and have a contract back to you probably the first meeting in November. I know we originally talked about October, but that's been pushed out a couple weeks. And lastly, Lincoln Road. Varana is nearly complete with the street paving. They still have sidewalk and trail installation between Cheyenne and Fillmore if the weather cooperates, which it is not right now, but they should be done by the end of October, the first part of November. That's all I have, Mayor Black.
Mr. Gaines.
I just had a quick question. How long is traffic going to be interrupted on Washington? Do you have any idea?
I'm going to defer to Engineer Jeff Thompson.
Right now, the bridge is scheduled for delivery and setting the end of December, so I would suspect probably the first part of January to mid-January. There'll be lane restrictions there, but there will always be a constant flow of traffic available north and south, at least one lane.
Okay, thank you.
We have been coordinating with the school and the police department to make sure that's a safe zone for the students as well. So,
all right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Motion by Councilman Jaworski. Second by Councilwoman Klug. Do we have any proponents? Do we have any opponents?
Mayor Black?
Yes, sir.
I would like to remove C5 from the consent agenda, please.
C5 is pulled. Do we have any opponents? Any council discussion? Please vote on everything except C5.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Next is item C5, Resolution R170184. A resolution to approve a special designated liquor license for Northwoods Cheese House on October 21st, 2017 from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. for the second annual Oktoberfest event at the First Lutheran Church property located at 332 North Washington Street. Is there a motion to approve? Motion by Councilman Ingberg. Second by Councilman Jaworski. Proponents, the applicant is here. Mr. Mumgard.
Yes, could the applicant come forward, please?
How's it going? I'm Chris Evich with Northwoods Cheese House.
Okay, Mr. Evich, it's no surprise to you that we've often received complaints from neighbors, concerns about the music that's in your outdoor area. And we've worked very hard, and you've been very cooperative in trying to work out those problems. So I just want to give you the opportunity to explain what you're going to do during this event, what kind of activity, music or otherwise, there might be that might disrupt the neighborhood, or that might be heard in the neighborhood. I won't even use that word, disrupt. Let's try to be proactive here and explain to people what's going on.
That's something you'd have to talk to the church about. I'm only doing the liquor. We're just doing beer for them.
Okay,
like we
well,
did last year.
All right, and this is in the area to the north of your current business?
Correct, in the field.
Okay. I'm looking at the I'm looking at the plat, the map you got. Is there going to be a stage, any kind of music there?
That's something you'd have to talk to the church about.
Yeah.
I'm not doing nothing
Okay.
with any part of what's going on except the beer.
Mr. Mumgard, the whole event is on the church property, and it's the church event, I believe, and then they're
understand that.
providing the liquor for the special designated license.
I understand that. I just wanted to know how much control you as the liquor seller is going to have over the activity that's there. Because ultimately, when you get the license there, I believe under the law, you're responsible for what happens there. It's your licensed premises. Now, I know, and you're telling me that you're working with the First Lutheran Church to set up the event and have the plans? Which is what you did
I'm
last year,
assuming
right?
it's gonna be the exact same thing that was last year.
Okay, what did they do
They'll
last
probably
year?
have a polka band out there, and they'll probably only be playing for 3 or 4 hours in the middle of the day. They'll have a lunch that will run from, there again, don't quote me, probably from 11 to 2. And then they'll have another dinner time. They'll stop for a while. They'll have another dinner time event for food from, let's say, 4 to 6 or 7. And that's pretty much about the end of the extent of what goes on.
Okay, your license goes till 10 p.m. What do you plan? You gonna shut it down, or stop sales?
As soon as they tell me they're done, we're done.
Oh, okay.
And we could stop the liquor at any time that we want. There's no time frame on when I can be there, when I can't be there. It's completely up to us. But as for the most part, most of the people are out of there by 8 o'clock probably. Some stuck around till 9, maybe last time.
Yeah, I know last year it was very successful. We had no problems with it at all. So we don't anticipate there's really going to be anything other than people there and the noise, the sound of people talking after dark. Is that the kind of the plan from last year?
I would assume.
Okay. Well, I have no problem with that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Do we have any other proponents? Do we have any opponents? Any other council discussion? Please vote.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Thanks, sir. Next is item E1, Ordinance 1788, a request for a change of zone from agricultural AG to R3 urban family residential for the property legally described as part of the northwest quarter of the northeast quarter of Section 34, Township 14 North, Range 12 east of the 6 p.m. of Sarpy County, Nebraska. Generally located at 707 Grunther Street. The applicant is Overland Hills Baptist Church, Overland Hills Point. This is a public hearing. I'll open the public hearing. Do we have proponents?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. Douglas Dreesen, 10836 Old Mill Road, appearing on behalf of the applicant. This is the Overland Hills Church up at 90th and Grunther. The change of zone is kind of to clean up that area from a lands description to a platted lot, dedicate some right-of-way and so forth. The church does plan on adding on to the building and adding additional parking to accommodate their congregation. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do we have any other proponents? Do we have any opponents? I'll close the public hearing. Next is item F1, Resolution R17-0174. This is a related item, a public hearing and a vote. A request for a preliminary plat for the property legally described as part of the northwest quarter of the northeast quarter of Section 34, Township 14 North, Range 12 east of the 6 p.m., Sarpy County, Nebraska. Generally located at 707 Grunther Street. The applicant is Overland Hills Baptist Church, Overland Hills Point. Again, a public hearing, and I'll open the public hearing. Any other proponents? We'll carry the comments over for the minutes. Any opponents? Close the public hearing. Do I have a motion to approve Resolution R17-0174? Motion by Councilman Jaworski, second by Councilwoman Klug. Any other council discussion? Please vote.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Thank you. Item F2, Ordinance 1740, an ordinance to approve the adoption of the 2012 International Building Codes, I-codes. Is there a motion to approve Ordinance 1740? Motion by Councilman, I missed the first. Motion by Councilman Stube, second by Councilman Glover. There was a request for amendments that were in the council packet. Is there a motion to amend Ordinance 1740 as outlined in the packet? Motion by Councilman Klug. Second by Councilman Jaworski. Do we have any proponents on the motion to amend? Any opponents? Any council discussion? Please vote on the motion to amend.
Eight yeas, 0 nays.
Motion is amended. Do we have any other council discussion? Please vote on the original motion as amended.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Thank you. A lot of work, Brian Craig. Thank you very much for everything you've done on that one. Item F3, Ordinance 1775, an ordinance to approve a change of zone from agricultural AG to LI Limited Industrial for the property legally described as a tract of land located in the south half of the northeast quarter of Section 35, Township 14 North, Range 11 east of the 6 p.m., Sarpy County, Nebraska, generally located on the northwest corner of Highway 50 and Gold Coast Road. The applicant is Development Services Corp., R&R Commerce Park. Is there a motion to approve Ordinance 1775? Motion by Councilman Stubbe. Second by Councilwoman Klug. The applicant has formally requested that the name of the project be changed from Crossroads Commerce Park to R&R Commerce Park, and has proposed to plat the development in phases. And with that, do we have a motion to amend Ordinance 1775 to change the name of the project from Crossroads Commerce Park to R&R Commerce Park and to allow for platting in phases? Motion by Councilman Jaworski. Second by Councilman Gaines. Do we have any proponents? The applicant is here. Do we have any opponents? Any council discussion on the motion to amend? Please vote on the motion to amend.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion is amended. Any other proponents or opponents on the motion as amended? Any council discussion? Please vote on the motion as amended.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Related item F4, Resolution R170186, a resolution to approve a final plat for the property legally described as a tract of land located in the southeast quarter of the northeast quarter of Section 35, Township 14 North, Range 11 east of the 6 p.m., Sarpy County, Nebraska, generally located on the northwest corner of Highway 50 and Gold Coast Road. The applicant's Development Services Corp., R&R Commerce Park. Is there a motion to approve Resolution R170186? Motion by Councilwoman Klug. Second by Councilman Jaworski. Do we have any proponents? Any opponents? Council discussion? Please vote.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Related item F5, Resolution R170187, a resolution to approve the R&R Commerce Park subdivision agreement. Is there a motion to approve Resolution R170187? Motion by Councilman Glover. Second by Councilman Stubbe. Do you have any proponents? Any opponents? Any council discussion? Please vote.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Just before we wrap up, Mr. Gare, thank you again for joining us. If people are not aware, Steve Gare with R&R Realty on the executive team is also the mayor of West Des Moines, Iowa. So, honored to have you here. Hopefully we did it the right way. Welcome and thank you to town. Item F6, Ordinance 1783, a request for a change of zone from GC General Commercial to AG Agricultural for the property legally described as Tax Lot 6B, Section 9, Township 13 North, Range 12 East, generally located at the northwest corner of 105th Street and Fairview Road. The applicant is Ryan Anderson, Tax Lot 6B 91312. Is there a motion to approve Ordinance 1783? Motion by Councilman Jaworski. Second by Councilwoman Klug. Any council discussion? Please vote.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Item F7, Ordinance 1784, a request for a change of zone from GC General Commercial to R1 Single Family Residential Low Density for the property legally described as lots 8 through 12, Block 6, Richfield, generally located on the northwest corner of 105th Street and Walnut Street. The applicant is Ryan Anderson. Is there a motion to approve Ordinance 1784? Motion by Councilman Jaworski. Second by Councilman Stubbe. Any council discussion? Mr. Mumgarde.
Yeah, last meeting, we had somebody who came up and asked some questions about this. Have we received any additional information from that citizen or anyone else?
Mr. Stursma.
Yes, after the last council meeting, Sam Helwig, I think his name was, he did email me with some questions about what he should provide to us. I indicated that we didn't have a script in mind necessarily, but that if he were to get a recommendation or referral from a well professional, we would provide that to the city council. I also made sure he was aware that the action that we're taking with this application does not give permission to construct a well. That is a separate application that must be approved by city council. The applicant will need to do an analysis, and I did that because I didn't want Sam to think that he had to hire an engineer to provide that information. That would be a responsibility of the applicant. So I responded to his email, I gave him that information, and that's the only correspondence that I've had.
Okay, so his concerns about depletion of his well, if that's, if that's a concern that we need to consider, that's something we can consider later on when there's an application for a well.
Correct. The action tonight does not give approval for a well. That's a separate application that will need to be made.
Okay,
and,
thank
and
you.
that will be before this council.
Any other council discussion? Please vote.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Thank you. I don't believe any committees have met. We do have a closed session tonight, so we'll go ahead and do the other comments before that. Any comments from the floor? We got some students here. You guys have to come up and introduce yourself and let us know why you're here. And nobody gets out of it, so go ahead and come up and start lining up. As they all sit there and look at me. Come on up.
Hi, I'm Ethan Huntley. Mr. Ray Keller. Okay.
My name is Brandon Mars, and I'm also with Ray Keller.
My name is Grant Osika. I'm also with Ray Keller.
My name's Jackie Schramm. I'm also with Ray Keller.
My name's Annalie Larson, and I'm with Ray Keller.
I'm Darby Ronning. I'm with Ray Keller.
I'm Isaac Bernig, and I'm with Ray Keller.
I'm Kennedy Correa. I'm also with Ray Keller.
Thanks for coming out. Any other comments from the floor? Seeing none, any council comments? Just a couple of updates from the last couple of weeks. Ms. Myers, Ms. Coomer, and I attended the League of Municipalities annual conference. Also attended the Sarpy County Economic Development's board meeting. Most of that discussion was around the Go Ready sites. I think everybody's familiar with that program. If you're not, let me know. But they're looking at a site probably more towards Gretna and one more towards Bellevue, and that's being funded from the development that was done in Papillion from the Facebook project being Go Ready. Also attended the 2017 State Chamber Legislative Forum. Most of that was the State Chamber giving their position on the last legislative session from a business tax perspective. Ms. Myers, Ms. Coomer, and I attended the United Cities meeting. Most of that was talking about interim studies of the legislature. And then Ms. Myers and I also had a meeting with Laura Swartz, the new executive director of the Community Foundation, just to continue to build good relationships there. And then we had some very specific conversations about the Honor Wall project to make sure that that continues on and is a sustainable program being funded. So a very good meeting with her. With that, we do have a closed session tonight. Is there a motion to go into closed session to protect the public interest to discuss potential litigation regarding the City of Gretna's proposed annexation? Motion by Councilman Klug, second by Councilman Gaines. Do we have any proponents? Do we have any opponents? Any council discussion? Please vote.
8 yeas, 0 nays.
I will restate for the record, the purpose of the closed session is only to discuss potential litigation regarding the City of Gretna's proposed annexation. Closed session will include the mayor, city council, city administrator, assistant city administrator, city attorney, city clerk, and the planning director.